Hello everyone, this is Garrett and welcome back to The Legend of Zelda for the Nintendo Entertainment System. We shall go to the right now because we're in level 6 and this run is brought to you by GameAnyone.com. So, kill these guys, get a key, oh yeah! So those are basically new enemies which I'm pretty sure you will soon see what they do because they're really quite annoying. Actually, these ones are not that annoying. I think they're called Wizrobes and they basically shoot stuff at you, which you can block with your shield, or at least the big one, not the tiny one. The tiny one is not very good at blocking those, and apparently 2 fairies dropped, which is very nice if I needed those, which I don't. Yeah. So, the normal ones aren't that bad, but it's mostly the blue ones, which you will be seeing later in this dungeon, that are annoying, in my humble opinion. They are probably, regardless of what I said before, those are probably the single most annoying enemies in this game, in my opinion, so there you go. You will soon see them, I think, in about, like, 2 rooms from now. And now it's 1 room from now. In fact, it's this room where we will see the Blue Wizrobe, or as I like to call them, YAH! Basically what they do is move around and shoot beams. You need to hit them 3 times with the strongest sword in the game to kill them. And I was very lucky with that clock, as you can see. And, yeah, really don't like them. They are the bane of my existence most of the time, and really don't like them. So, just gonna get the clock, laugh at this guy a little bit longer, ha 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 ha, and then just keep on going north. Now, we can do 2 things in this room. Either we can go to the right using a bomb, or we can go up and fight a dragon with, I believe, 1 head. And I don't feel like fighting the dragon, so I'm just gonna go over here. And which sends us to this room. Just gonna kill these guys real quickly, because I kinda want some more rupees, so I can buy a nice red potion. I like red potions, but they didn't drop anything, so I'm just gonna go up here to get into this room over here. And this is a nice room indeed. Oh, yes. Oh, crud, I did not mean that to happen at all. That's really bad. I lost my shield. I really didn't mean to do that. Okay, that's quite bad. But I guess we'll just have to learn to live without the magics of the amazing shield of amazingness. Which is actually really quite annoying because these blue Wizrobes are, as I said before, kind of scary, and especially so without a shield to block their projectiles. And I would like it if you go... Yeah. And they can also move really swiftly into a random direction, even go through walls in that rate. And that's kind of scary too, since that damages you as well. So just standing next to them and waiting for them to walk past you is kind of an icky strategy as well. So right now we found the weapon of this dungeon, which is the magic wand. And it's not that good, in my humble opinion. I guess it works against those enemies that eat your shield, I suppose. But other than that, it doesn't really serve a purpose, in my opinion. You can't use it against the Wizrobes, which, in my opinion, are still a dangerous enemy anyway, although that one guy ate my shield, so I guess I can't really comment on that one anymore. And, yeah, it's just not very good. Eventually, it does get upgraded in the 8th dungeon, but even then, it's still not really all that spectacular, in my humble opinion, and I really need to stop getting eaten by those guys. Kind of annoying. Forgot I didn't have a shield, so I just walked right into their projectile without trying to dodge it. Yeah, this could be a problem, but we shall see. I think I need 4 more rupees to be able to buy a blue potion or a red potion, and otherwise I'm probably just gonna get a blue one, but I would really like a red one, to be honest, because yeah, 2 heals quite a lot better than 1, especially without a large shield. That I'm still annoyed at that one. I really shouldn't have let that one happen, but oh well, it happens, and once it happens, you cannot turn back time to make things unhappen, so I will just live without my shield. And apparently get a key, which I really won't need, but meh, I'll live. Ha ha ha. I really don't have the thing. I can't block those. So this is Goma, who is quite allergic to the arrow, as you will see soon as she opens her eyes again. There's actually an old man in this dungeon that says that you have to basically shoot him in the eye, and once you hit her once in the eye, then she's dead. So yeah, not a very fearsome boss, and in fact the end of this dungeon. which is very good indeed, because it means we can go to the 8th and second to last dungeon, of the game and almost conclude this adventure. In a moment. There we go. So, I think I'm actually not gonna get a potion for the next castle. I'm just gonna try to do it like this and see how far I can get. I kind of just want a red potion, really. But, wow, I actually got to the right castle. Yeah, the basic idea is that you want to go to dungeon number 2, because dungeon number 2 is closer to dungeon number 8 than any of the other dungeons, really. So, go to dungeon number 2, get the rupee from that guy, because he's such a neat person, and he likes to help us by giving us his money. So, after you do that, you go down here, accidentally get hit by the enemy, and there is this kind of noticeable bush over here, which is just kind of weirdly in the way, and you can hit it from both sides, and that is actually the entrance to dungeon number 8, which is quite interesting, because this is the only one not hidden by a tree. Okay, dungeon number 8, and first of all we're going to go to the left, because the left is a wonderful direction to go into at this time of day, even if we don't have a shield, which I will constantly nag about anyway, hahaha. And I would have liked not hitting 2 of that, because that makes things tricky. As you can see, this is really quite fast, and there we go. Okay, 5 rupee, well that's very convenient. Now we should have enough to buy a red potion once we get out of here. Although we do need to do a thing. We actually do need the arrow again in this dungeon, and we actually do need it again in the next dungeon as well, so I'm going to make sure that I at least have some money for that. But for now, we have some money at least, which is good. But right now, we want to focus on killing all these enemies over here. Push the left block to the leftness so the left one can go left. And get the single most amazing item in the game, a book! Hooray! What we will do is give this book to Ganon and he will realize the error of his ways and teach children how to read. This is all true and fact and complete nonsense, which actually what that book does is make this wand less useless, and it makes a little fire appear, and it can actually light up rooms and stuff, as like the candle can as well, which is kind of nice. But other than being able to use this wand while you're being hit by the guy that stops your blade attack for a while, I'm just not a fan of it at all. It's slow, and you can only shoot one projectile at a time, and you can get hit by your own fire apparently if you're an idiot like me. And I'm just gonna kill this guy because I think he actually gives me 5 rupees as well. He does. Good. And 1 bomb is not a lot, so I might as well use that. And this is a wonderful room. If you go to the right over here, you get a compass. I don't really want a compass, so instead I'm just gonna try to not die from the evil statues and whatnot. And apparently get a lot of hearts and fairies and whatnot. And I like saying whatnot in this sentence. Whatnot, whatnot, whatnot. Haha. Get the key for no real reason, because we will soon no longer need those. And I think you actually get a key if you kill the enemies in this room as well, but I'm not entirely sure. Either way, I'm just gonna go over to here because, who needs keys, right? But yeah, if you kill all the enemies, you can open the door to the right, which leads to the boss. But first of all, we're going to go over here, where there's another one of these guys. Unfortunately, once again with 1 bomb. And you can actually blow up the wall to the left over there as well to get into the little eye, which you can see on the radar, or map, or whatever it is. Quickly shoot an arrow in his face, because you need to hit this boss twice, which is kind of mean, but oh well. It's not a very threatening boss. Oh, wow. Okay, maybe you needed him 3 times, I guess. I thought you only needed to hit him twice, but maybe I just did it better the other time or something, I don't know. I guess in the practice run, I was just more lucky to hit him twice in a row with an arrow, but come on, die! There we go. And after you do that, you go to the right over here, and have more fun with happy jumping enemies, happy red knight person who's walking back and forth here, completely useless, but oh well, it's Ganon's forces, so I do not really care. In fact, the more useless, the better, really. Don't turn around when I'm trying to backstab you like a backstabbery backstabber. And apparently another fairy, which is always fun. I like fairies when I don't have all my health, and always push the left block. If you push any other block, bad things can happen to you. So if you don't want the bad things to happen, then don't push the non-left blocks. But we got this key with this cute little happy dog on top. It's probably supposed to be a lion or a skull or something. But that basically sets your keys to A, which means that you now no longer need to keys. Because you can just open every single locked door in the game, and that number, or letter actually, will not decrease. And I'm just quickly gonna blow up this wall because I feel like it, because there's a hidden area over here, and more importantly, rupees. Yeah, didn't really have 68 anymore, which I need for the red potion. So, yeah. Da-da-da-da-da. Just gonna go over here. Now we need to apparently go back north, which I didn't plan. Now we need to kill all the enemies in this room, which I skipped the last time because I didn't feel like it, because I'm lazy. Or more likely because I didn't want to take the damage I'm taking right now. Yeah. Okay, you are not cooperating, people. You need to cooperate a little bit better. I mean, I know you're all part of Ganon's team and all, but really, don't be such a baby. Come back here. Fairy! There we go. Don't you love it when a fairy starts to run away from you? I mean, who doesn't want to get eaten up by Link to save his health a little bit? I mean, really, that's just selfish. Very selfish. Also, if you kill all the enemies here, you get some bombs. Which, if you need bombs, well then kill all the enemies here. Nah. So, we go into this little ladder. And then we go up the other ladder. Although, secretly, we all know they're not actually ladders. They're just, differently colored walls, but because this game is not in 3D. So now there is a ridiculous amount of these enemies over here. And I really don't like this room, so I'm just gonna go over here to fight the boss of this dungeon, which is once again one of those little dragons, and if you have health, he's not really that fearsome, but I do need to be a little careful. So, no, just gonna get the heal, heart thingamabob, be all happy, be all yay, and get the last piece of the Triforce which we needed to be all happy and stuff. And slowly regain all of our health. Excellent. Righto, so now that we all have all of that, I am going to warp to the... I'm going to warp to a dungeon, and I will tell you the number once I remember which one it is. So, see you in a moment. Okay, basically just decided to walk there because the flute wasn't working. Also decided, I got near castle number 6, so I bought the red potion from the shop that's... well, basically one screen down and one to the right, but I probably just could have bought it over here as well now that I think about it, which is also a potion shop. But if you manage to forget it in both that shop and the shop near dungeon number 6, then do not fret, because before we get to the actual dungeon, or actually slightly past the actual dungeon, there is actually a different place where you can also buy a potion, which is very nice indeed. And I will just quickly go do a hill. Kill these evil doers of evil, and quickly remember if it's the right one or the left one. I think it's this one then. Yes, it is. That was kind of silly. But that's basically the dungeon. But this is another place where you can also buy a potion. So if you didn't have a potion at that point, you can just buy it over there. But instead, we are going to dungeon number 9, the last dungeon in the game.